In this video, I'm going to introduce you the features of Execs management system for Tutorial Center and how to use the system. After you've launched the website, you'll see the login page, which asks you for your username and password. First of all, type in your username, which is admin, and type in your password that we sent you. After logging in, you'll see the dashboard with 8 features. If it's your first time logging in, we'll strongly suggest you to go change your password. You can change the password by going to Settings, then Other Settings. After that, type in your original password, and then type in your new password twice. Then press Change. After you have successfully changed your password, the system will prompt you by displaying the green font. Then press Back. Now I'll teach you how to create a user. First of all, press User Settings, then press Create Account. Type in the username that you want to create for the user. In this example, I'm going to use A-chan. Then fill in the password and type the password again to make sure it's right. Then you can set the role and press Create. The next step is go to Authorization Settings. Choose the user that you just created, which is A-chan, and press Next. Here you can set the authorization for more than 40 features of Execs. Just press Allow for those that you want the user to have access to. For the questions that ask you whether you want to require or do not require is the settings that means whether the user has to require approval to do such actions. If you press Require when the user tries to do that action, an approval password needs to be filled in. Usually we set Require for all these types of settings to make sure the system is safe. Then under Overall, if you want the user to be one of the person who can authorize the restrictions, you can just type in a password. Then press Update after you have set all the authorization. Next, I'll teach you how to remove or modify the user. If your user forgot your password, you can always change it by going to Modify User. Here you can change your username or the password for the user. Of course, you can remove the user if you want. Just go to Remove User and select the user that you want to remove and press Delete. We now go back to the dashboard. Next, I'm going to teach you on classes. Now I'll teach you how to add a course. By pressing Add Course, you can fill in the subject and the course and select the grades and the fee per lesson. Remember, it's per lesson instead of per month. After creating the course, you can create a class. Go to select the day that the class is on, let's say Friday, and type in the class ID. The class ID is optional, but it'll make it clearer if you type that in. Then select the start time and the end time. For example, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. You'll see that there's a message underneath. prompting you that there's another class going on in the classroom or the teacher is teaching during that time. It's okay if you still at the class. The system would not stop you from doing that, but you can change your start time and end time if you wish to avoid any clashing. You'll see the notice has disappeared after you have selected another time that the room is free and the teacher is free. For maximum students, you can type the maximum students that you want to be allowed in the same class. Then press add class. And then you can continue to create more class. Let's say on Saturday. Just type in the class ID and the starting time and ending time as it is just now. For room, you can always add more rooms in settings, but the main room will be included when the system as the default. Leave maximum students blank if you do not want to have such restriction. The next thing is modifying course. Just choose the course and press add class if you want to add more class. Of course, you can delete a class by going to delete class and select the class that you want to delete. And you can choose to modify info. You can add more grades with the corresponding fees if you want to. Next, I'll teach you how to assign students to a class. Press assign and choose a student to assign to. For example, 10006. As this student is S1, you can't assign him to the class that we just created just now, as the class we just created is for primary school students. There's a course created before that's called MA-Junior Sec. And press next. Then choose the dates that you want to assign him to. For example, Wednesday, and press assign. Of course, you can unassign students from the classes. Just press unassign and select the students. Then press the class that you want to unassign the student from and press unassign. Then the students would be unassigned from the class. The next thing is course information. Just press course information and all the information about the course will be displayed here. Here you'll see which grades are the courses suitable to and what is the cost for the grades. Below that you'll see the timetable for different days, which will include course ID and class ID, start time, end time, etc. For inquiry, it's displaying which students are assigned to which class. You can sort by class ID, student ID, day, or teacher. After pressing the button, you'll see that it will be sorted. Then, what if your student is not free and want to have a makeup class? Press makeup class and choose the student. Then choose the original date. For example, the 19th. Which it doesn't have a class, so I go to 21st of August. Then choose the original class and teacher. and select the new date, let's say the 2nd of September. Choose the new class and press Submit. You can check the mail class record by pressing that button, and after pressing that, you'll see all the records that are the makeup class. The next thing is student management. Just press student management and you'll see 5 features here. I'll teach you how to add a student. Student ID will be assigned and you cannot change the student ID. The fields that we require to fill in or select is first name, surname, and grade. Other information are optional and not compulsory. For example, the first name is Tom and the surname may be Young. And you can choose to fill in the email if you wish to send the notifications to their emails. Notifications will be sent to the emails you fill here on both the student's part and the parent's part that I will introduce you later. Of course, this depends on the settings that you set at the authorization setting, which I will introduce this part more later on. Then press Submit and the students will be added. A welcome email will be sent to the email that you filled in just now. The next thing is removing students. Just press Remove Student from the menu and select the user that you wish to delete. Press Delete and confirm the prompt. The next thing is modify student's information. Just select the student that you wish to modify the details and press Next. Besides the student ID that cannot be changed, you can change any information here. You can check the student information by clicking Check Student Info and press Next. Then all the details of the students will be displayed here. After that, you can check student's payment status. What is this? It's just you can choose a student name here. Then you'll see the lessons paid up to now and how many lessons are remained from the last payment. In this case, it's at -1, which means the student's payment has been is overdue. Go back. The next thing is invoice. Press invoice and press create invoice to create an invoice for your student. So select the student that you want to create an invoice for and press the cost or the product. When you press the cost, the system will fill in 4 lessons by default. You can change it to 8 if you wish, and the unit price will be filled in for you automatically. Of course, you can change the unit price as well if you wish to. In this example, I'll change the number of lessons from 4 to 8. And you can see that the total will automatically be incremented. You can as well press Others, which asks you for more details. For example, the students bought a book which costs $80, and you can add it to invoice as well. Then you can fill in the overall discount or any additional charge from here. You can fill in the discounts if you wish to, and the payment method. For the overall discount, let's say you want to give 20% off discount, you can just choose percent and type 20. Then for payment method, if you select check or others, it will ask you for more detail. For check, it will ask you for your check number, and for others, it will ask you for more information. In this example, I'm going to select cash, then press create. The invoice is then created. You can send the invoice to the students or parents by selecting the checkboxes and press send. And in this example, I'm going to press save or print. After pressing that, a PDF will be generated and downloaded. You'll see an electronic receipt here. If you send the email, the PDF will be attached and sent to the student's or parent's email. Next, let's look at overdue payment. You can see all students whose lessons remained are below 0, which means the payment is overdue. And for previous invoice, you can see all the previous invoices that you have created and the details of it. Press in details to see more information about the invoice, such as the details items. You can also create a notes for the invoice, and you can void or unvoid an invoice. Of course, this again depends on the settings, that whether the user is allowed to do this. The next thing is homework. Here you see there are 4 functions, and let's upload new homework now. Select a file. The files must be in PDF form, and the largest size supported is 10 megabytes. If you upload something that is over 10 megabytes, the system will direct you to an error page. Select the subjects that are suitable, for example, mathematics primary, and press upload. After uploading the homework, you can assign homework to the students. Here you can choose whether you want to assign the homework to students that today's class or not. If you uncheck that checkbox, depending on the setting, you might have to be approved to do so. After pressing next, you'll see a quota here. You can change the quota at the authorization setting page, but if you do not fill in anything for that, it will be unlimited. Teachers can only assign with the number of homework that is within the quota, unless it is unlimited for each student. If you wish to include homework that are for other subjects, you can check the checkbox, and again, depending on the authorization level, you might have to be approved. This is an admin account, which means it can do anything on Execs. But if it's a normal user and you have set to the setting to require, that person would need to be approved to include homework for other subjects for that students. Press assign to assign the homework, and you can see the quota has incremented by 1, and you can print the homework here. When the quota is succeeded, again authorization needs. Here you can fill the record that the teacher has assigned the homework to. This means that teachers can easily track what homework is given out on which lesson, which means they can spend less time on making notes. They can as well search by student's ID, which means it's easier and faster to do so. And if you type something that is not there, the table will just disappear. Next, go to remove files. You can choose a file to remove, and all homework that are related to that file will be deleted. The next thing is notices. You can select the class ID and the students that you wish to send the notices to. You can select all students by pressing the button select all, or you can just choose 1 or 2 students to send the notice to. Press next and you can type the message you want. When you press send, emails will be sent to both students and parents if the email is filled in and stored in the system. The next thing is attendance. You can take attendance, and here you only show the classes that are taught by that teacher on that day. If the teacher wishes to take attendance for the students that are not in his class, you have to check the checkbox, and again, approval might be required depending on the setting. Then choose the class that you wish to take the attendance for. And you can see that there are 3 types of status. P is for present, E is for excused absence, and U is for unexcused absence. For unexcused absence, an email will be sent to the parents and students at the end of the day. Of course, you can choose not to send by going to communication settings, which will be introduced later on. Just check the radio buttons and press register. The system will prompt you if any student has payments to be paid. If you press the class again, you'll see that the attendance has been taken, and you can change the attendance at any time. Attendance won't be taken twice even you register twice. Each student can only be registered once in any one class. And you can see that the attendance records are color-coded. Then you can go to View Attendance to view the attendance record. Please note that the attendance records will only be shown up to the day before. So you won't see any attendance record on that day because the attendance is still not fixed and subject to any change by the teacher, which may cause the table to be inaccurate. You can export the table to Excel if there's any record. The next thing is invoice. You can go to previous invoice and export the previous invoice to an Excel document. just press the downloaded Excel spreadsheet and press yes because it's safe to do so. Then you can see all the invoice records, which includes invoice number, student ID, etc. This allows you to do the accounting admins easier. Now go back to the dashboard and go to today's schedule. Today's schedule will show you all the classes that you have to teach on that day, and you can also see other teachers' schedule by checking the chat box. You can see that's the teacher T Chan's lesson. Next, go to settings, and I'll teach you about the things in other settings. Besides changing password, you can also delete the invoice records. Again, this is subject to the authorization of that user, and we strongly discourage you by allowing them to do so unless you really trust them, as it cannot be redone after the invoice record is deleted. At the end of the year, when all students are promoted to the next grade, you can as well press the increase button to increase their grades, and all the classes that the students are not suitable to the student will be assigned from that class automatically. Next is communication setting. You can see that there are 4 types of settings. When you press deny, this will mean that the email will not be sent for that affair. For example, I checked deny for unauthorized absence email, which means that no email will be sent because of any unauthorized absence. Then it's minimum lessons for payment reminder, which means when the payment reminder email will be sent. So if there's only 1 lesson left, if you fill in 0, then the payment reminder will be sent when the lesson remained is 0. The next thing is help desk suggestion. You can go to help desk and fill in your organization name and topic and the details of any problem you encountered. If you see a bug page, please send it to info@execs-sd.com. That's all for today, and thank you.